Shabbat Shalom. I may not look like it, but I'm on vacation right now. I just spent a week with my family in Flagstaff, Arizona, and going to see the Grand Canyon, among other things, which if you have not seen in person, you have to do that. It's the most remarkable thing your eyes will see, other than your children and your loved ones. And next week, I'm going to be going away for a couple days with two buddies of mine from grade school. I've known these guys since second grade, and we and our wives are going to go away to spend a couple days together in the Bay Area. Don't I look relaxed and rested? But I want to share with you that going on vacation with a rabbi is nothing like going on vacation with a person. People, when they go away on vacation, I've seen this, they look at archaeological sites and they think, how interesting, where are we going to have lunch? Rabbis go to archaeological sites and think Torah. So I want to give you a little Torah that I got on my trip because I'm not allowed to share this with my family. They're tired of traveling with a rabbi. One of the most amazing things that we saw in the Flagstaff area is a pueblo called Wupatki. And the Wupatki pueblo was built by a group of Native American tribes outside of Flagstaff around the years 300 to the years 1200 of the Common Era. So just to put that in Jewish timeline, starting in the time of the Mishnah and Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, and winding up in the time of Maimonides and Rashi. They built this remarkable set of buildings using mostly volcanic stone and limestone. And I walked through this, first of all, like a person, thinking, I can't believe people could live here. The temperatures during the summer are unbearable. There's very little water. There's no river flowing through this community, so they had to find a way to save water during the rainy season in their pottery so that it would get them and their harvests through the entire summer. You can imagine that the number of losses, if there wasn't enough rain, if a bucket spilled, would have been devastating for the whole community. People tended to be shorter than some of us are today, so the doors were much shorter. People were around 5 feet tall, they estimate. And there were a series of rooms, one on top of the other. And then there was, some of you who've attended Jewish summer camp will love this, what has to be described as a gaga court. So any of you who've been to Jewish summer camp, I don't know if non-Jewish camps have these things. They build these round pits in which you can play ball games. In Native American tradition in the Southwest, those were sacred games. So you can imagine how popular religious services were if it was in a gaga court. And we toured all of this, and being a rabbi, I had one question to ask. I asked the tour guide, did they have an alphabet? They didn't. Now let me tell you how blessed we are as Jews that Semites invented an alphabet around 10,000 BCE. And that we have ancient writings, not just symbols, not just pictures, but we figured out a way to make marks that are equivalent to our sounds so that we could record language. And just to give you a picture of what that meant, Mika, you did such an amazing job today. That was so beautiful. But as a rabbi, what I'm thinking is the ancient words of the prophets came to life through you. Imagine if we didn't have those words. We knew that our ancestors did wonderful things. We assumed they were wonderful people. The ancestors of the Native Americans were extraordinary people who managed to forge a life in a hostile environment, and like our people, understood their connection to the land. Just as we are connected to Eretz Yisrael, to the land of Israel, they were connected to their holy spots as well. But what they couldn't do was take their memory and share it with someone they've never met. So the memory was as fragile as one person transmitting it to another, and nobody could memorize what they hadn't experienced. And yet you today read the words of a prophet you've never met. And those words, like so many of the prophetic words, tell us that we will undergo immense difficulties, but that someday, have confidence, there will be Jewish boys and girls, men and women, dancing and singing in the hills of Judea. And we are witness to that miracle, not only because of the resilience of our people, which is like the resilience of the Navajo and the Hopi, but because our ancestors could put the words into writing and we could listen in on their thoughts. It means we know the names of people. We know Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Akiva and Bruria and Yehuda Hanasi. We know the names of Isaiah and Jeremiah. These people live on in us because we have their words. So no coincidence, what we celebrate at a bar or bat mitzvah is the mastery of the words, the ability to chant the ancient songs, the ability to make yourself part of a conversation that links us generation to generation. This is such an unusual gift in the history of the world. Of all humanity, we are connected to our most distant ancestors, and their thoughts are carried on the young voices of our 13-year-olds. Or, as you saw today, our 83-year-olds. How blessed are we to be able to have a heritage of content in which we remember individuals, we remember historical events. My God, we never let go. You destroy our temple 2,000 years ago, and we're still carrying on. And we do that because we understand that the vitality of a people is rooted in its literacy, in its memory. And so I want to invite all of us this year to redouble our own efforts at Jewish literacy. This remarkable heritage is just closed and dusty books if you don't take them off the shelves and read them. Our ancestors have such wisdom, which they are eager to share with us and to enter into conversation with us, but we have to learn the words, which means the Hebrew, which means the Aramaic. It means the language the Jews have spoken across the ages. I stood in wonder at the Hopi and the Navajo, who in such brutal conditions made a livable place. I have no idea how they could build such a remarkable set of buildings. But I can't say thank you to them by name. We don't know their names. We don't know the historical events, their fights, their triumphs, their insights, what they learned about what it means to be human, except through the memory of the most recent generations. But my friends, we are children of Israel, and B'nai Yisrael have an unbroken chain of conversation that goes back millennia. That makes us among the most gifted and blessed people on the planet. So let us resolve this year to re-enter into that life-giving conversation. Pick up your Hebrew, take out a Jewish book, and through that converse not only with our ancestors, but with the God who also chose to speak to us in Hebrew words. Shabbat Shalom.